that hot tub is disgusting. It'll give you dysentery. I can't go in it anymore.
Oh my god, like, I'm just so smart, and every now and again I get myself and just get really excited. Oh, bitches.
Blah, blah, blah. Shut up, Cassandra. Mitch, talk about me.
I've been a fan of you for so long. I'm so happy to be on the show.
Wait, what was that? I couldn't hear you.
You're hilarious.
And?
It's been so fun to be on this show finally after listening to it for years.
Okay, I'll give you your money when we end this. Hey everybody, and welcome to a very special Big Brother Canada 4 postseason interview show. You guys know the deal. If you want to see any of our past shows, you can head over to yourrealityrecaps.com/BBCAN. Check out all of our past interviews. If you're watching on YouTube, you can click on these buttons, thumbs up and subscribe, iTunes 5-star rating, and a nice review. Lastly, if you want to help support our shows, consider becoming a patron. yourrealityrecaps.com/patron. And while I am sad to say, Dana is not here for this show. She is in the chat room taking your guys' questions, so she might not be responsive, but she is getting all of your questions for Mitch, so leave them in the chat room. Tweet us them with hashtag YRRLive. But without further ado, the person we've all been waiting for, it's Mitch!
Hi! What's up?
Mitch, how are you doing, Mitch?
I'm doing good. It's been a fun transition coming back home. I went to work the Monday after I was released from jury in the show. But yeah, it's been good. I've been having fun.
Don't you get to make your own work schedule? Isn't that why we like doing this? Yeah,
it's true. But it's I've been having a 3-month vacation. So I was I'm pretty sure my boyfriend and employers are all Mitch, you have to come back to work now.
Now, we need to talk about this, Mitch. Do you need me to talk to your boyfriend about putting a ring on it?
Well, we are non-traditional and maybe one day we'll get married. We don't know. It's not that important to us because basically we are married. We've been together for a really long time. And, why cave to the institution of marriage when our love is already strong enough?
I'm just going to take my wedding ring off now. It's also been 10 years for us too, Mitch, but I'll guess you don't want to see this. I'm going to put that over there.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, next question. No, I'm totally kidding. But you're from Canada. They love everybody. I totally get that stance if you're from the United States with Trump running, but,
No, I probably one day. All of our friends are always you have to get married. It's going to be the best wedding ever. And we're just okay, one day. We'll see. It'll probably happen.
That's just because we all want to get invited to your wedding.
Okay, fair.
we want a big party. Yeah, all right. Mitch, let's get down to why you are here. Number one, talking about Big Brother Canada. I don't think I'm out of line saying you were a fan favorite, if not the fan favorite. Mm-hmm. And probably only one of a few actually strategic players that super fans love to watch playing the game.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you to say. I had a fun time. I've been watching this show since I was very little. And so for me, I was there to play a strategic game and I had fun doing it.
You did have fun doing it. And a lot of us had fun watching you do it. And you got to do it with some amazing people. Behoot over in the chat room wants to know, how does it feel to know the legend Nikki Graham now in real life?
I love Nikki so much. I didn't understand, there was some animosity from other people towards her, maybe because she's just so amazing, but I found her hilarious and just so herself. She's just so authentic and she can't contain anything but what are her real emotions. Mm-hmm. And so, I haven't had to experience it in the real world. I experienced her in jury. I'm so excited. I hung out with her once for lunch in Toronto, but I want to go visit her in London and stuff. But regardless, she honestly is amazing and I feel privileged to know Nikki.
Do you have a Nikki impression? Because, spoiler alert, she did one of you the other week.
Oh, did she really? I didn't see it.
Oh, well, you'll see it if you watch this show back, if you have one of her. Do you have any Nikki impression?
Oh, let me think. What's something that she would say? that hot tub is disgusting. It'll give you dysentery. I can't go in it anymore.
That's a new one. I've been making everyone do Nikki impressions and mashing them up at the beginning of their interviews.
Oh, amazing.
So perfect. Nobody has gotten that. Nobody has said that one yet. I like vodka chocolate. I just get vodka and chocolates for her nonstop. I should also let your fans know, because so many here right now. Number one, spread the word right now that Mitch is here. Megaphone, square, up arrow, or not, if you want him all for yourself. And become a fan, because the number one fan, Mitch, and you already did this, so don't worry, but the number one fan on this show is getting Mitch's autographed photo.
Woo!
So that, and anybody who shares the show also is eligible to get. I mean, one of you, not all of you. Relax, relax.
It's pretty amazing. You should be sharing this right now because you want that.
Well, I want. You know who wants you, Mitch? And spoiler alert. One of your biggest fans, a huge, if you love us, I'm sure you're aware of her over on Twitter, XOXO Feedsters, who was basically live tweeting the season, wants to know, on behalf of Twitterdom, any plans to renounce citizenship and come play BB where we don't have secret suites that only ruin lives? And what's in the Battle of the Block?
I would love to play the American version. I'll have to talk to the casting team over there. No, yeah, it is a bummer in some ways that the Canadian version, I grew up watching the American one. The Canadian one has so many twists. At the same time, I signed up for it knowing that, and just kind of had to accept that that was a part of it. Twists have taken out good players in previous Canadian seasons and bad players. And so it's just, it was bad luck that I got caught up in that twist. But it's part of the show that I love. Do you know what I mean? So I can't complain too much.
Oh, I know what you mean. And I have 2 words for you. Alyssa Slater. Canadian. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know what the problem is. But I think, or maybe she doesn't, maybe her husband's Canadian and obviously Rachel was here. So maybe I'm stupid. Whatever. Either way, she's in Canada is my point. Nikki was just having lunch with her the other day.
Yeah, and it's like Nikki and Tim came on our season, so like why can't international people go on the American season? Can't be that hard.
Hello, casting.
Yeah, I'll send them a note being like, waiting.
Here's an important question, Mitch. Frankie Grande, fan or not?
Oh, me. I thought you were about to say he was asking a question. I was like, whoa.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think I'm a fan. Like, I didn't watch a lot of the feeds from that season, and so I think he got a lot of flack from people who watched the feeds. But I thought, from a strategic point of view, I actually thought he was a really good player. He did a really good job in the house. I know near the end, people really started maybe disliking him, but he did really well in challenges. He did well as a player. He was not afraid to just barge into rooms and make sure people weren't talking about him or whatever. So right. I think from that point, or from that stance, I actually appreciate him as a player. As a person, I don't know. I'd have to meet him. The show only shows a couple angles of you. I haven't watched our season yet, but I imagine there's some people that have been well portrayed and poorly portrayed. So maybe one day I'll meet him and make that decision in real life.
Well, Mitch, I feel like every single person who has come on this show is apparently going to the New York City premiere party for Big Brother. So you should come too. Half your cast is coming.
I heard. I don't think I can come because VidCon, I believe, is that week, which is like the biggest YouTube event of the year. Mm-hmm. So I'll be in LA for like a few weeks around that time. So I do not think I can come. Are you based in New York?
Oh, that's convenient. I hear you're going to be in LA at that time. Interesting.
Oh, do you live in LA?
Right. No.
Oh, where do you live?
I live in a real state, New York. I mean, hi, LA. No, we're in New York, Mitch. We're in New York.
Okay, good. New York. No, I love New York way more than like California by a million miles.
Well, if anything falls through and you don't find yourself at a VidCon or in a house or anywhere, then come to it and you can stay here or wherever you want. And, we can definitely help you out, Mitch.
Okay, that sounds good. No, I'll let you know if anything changes.
If you're at VidCon, look for Nikki Uhas in the bathroom. Right. Gina M in the chat room wants to say, "Hey Mitch, love you. Did a great job. And show some love for Arkansas."
Oh, hi, Arkansas.
Are you really anti-Arkansas that I'm not aware of?
No, I'm fairly ignorant on anything about Arkansas, but I'm happy to be educated. So, sending my love to Arkansas.
Okay, well, you get there. They go. They got it. Trish E23 in the chat room says, "How do you feel? Do you feel that the twist basically ruined your game?"
It definitely derailed my game in a big way. I think I was in a good position. It's a bummer in some ways because I knew at some point the game I was playing would have to be switched up, and that just sort of really expedited that, me having to like kind of go into like kamikaze mode. But it also was exciting for me to be able to like switch gears, play a different game, and had I stayed, I would have wanted to change my game again after that. So in some ways it was liberating, but obviously the end result was not ideal. And so I think I was up against like a really big wave that I don't know if I could have got around. And I think had it not happened, I was positioned pretty well to at least make it many more rounds down the line.
I think you would have too. I mean, I know from a fan's perspective, we were all devastated when you got sent to that jury in the same way we were devastated, I think, when Cassandra got sent there. In some aspects, Joel as well. It's devastating to see the actual gamers get thrown into jury. Mm-hmm. So we are all sad about that, is what I'm saying, Mitch.
Well, I appreciate it.
Jade Eye Monster wants to go back for 1 second and say, basically, she's saying, I'm ad-libbing it to make it funnier. Does Greg know about your wedding with Nikki, and is that why you won't get married?
Yeah, I've double pledged. No, he does. When Nikki came to Toronto, she was like, I'm sorry, Greg, you can't give him what I can give him. You'll never love him as much as I can love him, and we're getting married. And he's okay with it. He understands the Nikki love, that we have a special bond that no one else can understand.
Dana, who's taking questions from the chat room, you can text me because I forget what the answer is. But when Dana interviewed Nikki, she made her choose to either evict you or vodka. And I forget which one she chose, but I want to say she chose you and evicted vodka.
She better have after I'm like talking so highly of her.
Okay, well, that was surprising because I thought she was going vodka all the way. I thought it wasn't even a question.
Yeah, it's like she's just like vodka. No, yeah, we honestly like. She was so fun to have there. It was a very nice relationship, and I'm glad to have met her.
Yeah, Dana says yes, vodka. They evicted vodka. Lisa MLT says, well, first she says Alyssa married a Canadian resident, so she had her citizenship in the United States. And she says, would you have preferred if Levita was the one that came back over Kelsey?
I think so. That's something that in the moment, I didn't speak for like the first 10 minutes because I knew I had just worked to get Kelsey out, but I couldn't let Jared and Raul, like the whole point was so that I could be with them more strongly, that I was closer with Jared than Raul was, and I was closer with Raul than Jared was once Kelsey left. But I couldn't sit there being like, oh, bring Levita back, like we don't want Kelsey, because if I had been able to take them in a separate room and say, look, Kelsey coming back is going to hurt our game, we need to bring Levita back, I think I could have had it done, but it just would have exposed too much of my game to like put it all out there. And there were a lot of strong voices to bring Kelsey back and not a lot to bring Levita back. And I just knew I couldn't be the ringleader because it would damage my relationship with them.
Right.
But ultimately, I think I would have still had issues with Levita, but less people trusted her. So she couldn't have hurt my game as much, I think, in the same way that Kelsey was able to, like Raul and Jared trusted her implicitly. So when she said something, it was gospel.
All right. Just between you and me.
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't Raul know that the jacket isn't supposed to be cut in half? I've already given him shit about this, but I'm just saying, where was the bottom half of his jacket? And why didn't you let him know? Mm-mm.
You know what? He's supposed to be the fashion stylist. I don't know. It's his own choices. He's only 21. He'll learn.
Hey, apparently. No, I already gave him so much shit about that. Now, one of your hugest fans all season has devoted a Twitter to you.
Amazing.
Mitchell's Moffit, not to be confused with you.
I've seen them on Twitter.
Okay, well, she wants to know, referring to your eviction speech, what happens when an immovable object hits an unstoppable force?
Well, it's a little complex to explain on this.
You got to dumb it down
stream.
For us, and I need to understand.
There is a perfect video that you can look up on YouTube that literally it's by Minute Physics. It's called Unmovable Object versus or Unstoppable Force versus an Immovable Object. Check it out. It's probably like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and it will break it down for you in a better way than I ever could. Now,
you know what else I think they should do when they're over on YouTube, Mitch?
What?
I think they should check out ASAP Science, Mitch's YouTube channel. I did not even know. I don't know how I missed your acapella thing, and all I want to know is how you do it. You don't have to tell us it on this show. I never understand how the people do that.
The acapella ones?
Yeah, like I don't understand how you're interacting with the 4 other versions of yourself unless they're still. Are you just? All right, you can tell me. Are you listening to it in your ear and then reacting to it?
So basically, like, you pre-record the whole song,
right,
have it done, and then you just record different versions and pre-plan out how you're going to interact at certain points. So we planned, like, this character's here, this character's here, this character's here, this character's here. And then we just have, like, simple actions that we then... It's almost like choreography. Like, at this part in the song, look right. You know what I mean?
Right. I just think that would have to be so hard because you have to, like, no, I'm shooting the gun this way. My other knee has to duck at that. I don't know.
It is actually harder than it seems because we messed it up and we, like, afterwards we realized we had to shift stuff around because we had done it the wrong way.
I have trouble editing this show when somebody's voice is off a little bit, and I watch something like that and my brain wants to explode. Lovely BBH wants to know, if you would have won the HOH right after Kelsey came back into the house, what would you have done and who would you have put up?
Ooh, it's hard to think. So instantly when Kelsey came back, I knew that I wanted to get her out again, but I didn't know if I could be the person to do that. Because again, it all came down to I needed Jared and Raul to trust me. They were kind of an insulation for me because other people wanted them out of the game. So if I could keep them there, I would be less of a target. But I couldn't be the one to knock Kelsey out because that would just damage my relationship with them. So had I won, I honestly think I either would have tried to get Cassandra or the brothers out at that time or backdoor Tim. I had struggled so long. I wanted to get Tim out, but everyone was so enamored with Tim. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know, even if he went on the block, if he could be evicted at that point. Solely people like Raul was okay and talking about Tim being a threat, but I knew Jared was still like so buying Tim's line that he wanted to bring him to the end. And so were the brothers, and so was Joel. They all bought this act that Tim was putting on. So maybe I could have put him up and said he was a pawn and then really tried to push to make people realize how big a threat he was. But if I wasn't able to accomplish that, it probably would have been the brothers that would have been my target.
Really? If you got that question from so many people, another one that you're getting from a ton of people is, if you could have picked who the final 2 were, and obviously excluding yourself, mm-hmm. who would you have picked for the final 2? It can be anybody from jury.
Cassandra and Tim. By far played the best game. So when Tim walked in as the final juror, like, it was pure depression on the jury.
And was it?
Well, if it was Tim versus the brothers, every single one of us would have voted for Tim.
Ah, well, there's that. Okay, that is surprising to me. I mean, it's not surprising. It's not surprising, and it is surprising for a reason that I'll say when you're not on this show. Okay. I don't want to get you in trouble. Okay. But yeah. Who do you wish you would have worked with in the game? Is there anybody that you wish you would have worked with that you didn't, says Too Good Connor and about 90 other people?
Right. Probably Tim and Cassandra. But the hardest part of working with really smart people is that you can't trust them and that they are smart enough to understand you. And so honestly, the week that Tim came in the house, I instantly could read that he was one of the smartest people there in terms of picking up on people's like social cues, their interactions. And the reason I never tried to get close to him was he was always surrounded by everybody else because they were all sort of infatuated with him and his stories from Australia. But on top of that, I knew he could read my game. And so that scared me. I thought, he's just going to pretend that he wants to work with me and use that to get information out of me and understand my game even more. So it was just a risk that I was only exposing myself to him if I did that. And I don't think he ever would have worked with me because I think he also knew. We were sort of on this similar level where we were playing a similar game. We were like playing based on the game dynamics and not just based on like this threat versus their threat or like who's going to win competitions. It was more about like what dynamic do you create when this person leaves or these people go up against each other. And I think he knew that about me. So I wish I could have worked with Tim, but I don't know if we ever could have, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is hard to work with the super strategic game players because they're gonna make the moves that are best for their game. A lot of people want to know, do you have any plans, Zach Walters, most currently, do you have any plans to do any sort of a Canadian tour or...
Tour to like visit
fan
places?
Meet and greets, anything?
Nothing right now. Like, to be honest, I mean, probably for ASAP Science at some point. Like, we do travel quite a bit and have sort of meet and greets here and there and do events that are YouTube based. And now that this is part of my life, I'm sure like I'll be sure to shout it out if we're ever somewhere doing an ASAP Science meet and greet. More than happy to have Big Brother fans come and see us. But so far I've just been like struggling to catch up with normal life and be back at work. And so I'd love to do it. It is really fun to meet fans. I love it. So hopefully at some point in the future, there will be opportunities across the country.
I hear Cassandra is going to be at a mall this weekend. You can just go jump in with her. Just go get in on Cassandra's fan meet and greet.
Do you know how big Canada is? Like, I am not flying like 4 hours just to go to a mall.
Oh, well, I didn't know where Cassandra lived. Do you live near Toronto? Or are you...
I live in Toronto, yeah.
Oh, you do live in Toronto?
Yeah,
okay.
Well, I'm from a city that's just about an hour away, but for the past years, I've been in Toronto now.
I guess you don't want to say the name of the city. Dana, what's the name of your city? All I know is Dana lives an hour away from Toronto, and she tells me that...
I can say my city. It was what was on the show. It was Guelph. That's where I'm from. Guelph.
I've never heard... God bless you. I've never heard of Guelph before. Oh, Burlington is Dana. Dana's Burlington. Okay,
not that far.
Go. I don't know. Well, look, we have Hicksville. We got weird things here on Long Island, too. Jolly G wants to know, do you have any funny story from the jury house that you can share with us?
I mean, there were some nights when we had some... What's a funny story? Oh, one time we tried to scare... Who was it? Raul. We all went to bed, even the people who were taking care of us, and we all were like planning that 10 minutes after we had all been in bed, we were all just going to start screaming and pretend there was an intruder, that somebody had like found our jury house.
Right.
And so we did that. We all just like one of us started screaming first, and then we were all like, oh my God, like yelling, running out. And he was like literally shitting his pants. Like he ran out in his blanket and was like, what's going on? And we were like, there's someone here. Like someone was in the house and they were running around the house. And we were all like, he was like, call 911, call 911. So that was a funny little scare tactic there.
I love messing with Raul.
Yeah, I know. He's funny. He's really funny. I'm glad I got to know him really well. I know he was my demise, but afterwards, in jury, we spent so much time together too, so we had a fun time.
Right. I think everybody loves you and Raul together, but trust us, we also haven't forgotten that he was your demise either. Exactly. I was like, Raul, girl.
Why? For real.
Jared is basically assaulting you in the pantry room, and you're going with him. Like, all we wanted him to do... See, and I'm so horrible with remembering the details so much later, but I feel like what we wanted to happen was Raul convince Jared to use the POV to save you, and then him put up Kelsey.
Oh my God, that would have been amazing.
That's what we all wanted to happen.
He never would have done it, though. He was too in love with Kelsey, and I don't know. I understand why they lost trust in me, but I still knew it was a bad move for him because I was just never going to go after him. Yes, maybe I would have gone after Kelsey, but you never put someone up on the block who's not going to put you up on the block. Do you know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
That was my rationale. So, but, yeah. He learned his lesson.
Yeah, he did. Here is a great question from Big Zilla in the chat room. She wants to know, if you could go back to week 1, would you still vote to evict Paige, or would you send out Kelsey now?
I think I would still vote to evict Paige. I love Paige. She was so nice. Got along with her so well. But for me at the time, she was already gravitating towards Dallas, Maddie, and Ramsey, who at the time... I was not siding with. And then Levita was starting to side with them. And so in those early days, it was really strange and interesting how the bedroom wall actually separated and created alliances. So it was me, Raul, Jared, Kelsey in one room. Ramsey was there as well, and he was always kind of like a floater in the middle. But those bedrooms really defined alliances, and I knew if I already so early lost somebody who wouldn't put me up, even though I don't think Paige would have come after me, she would have been a number for maybe somebody else who wanted to come after me or somebody who was protecting me, like Jared, who I knew would go before I did. So in that sense, I liked Paige as a person maybe more, but I knew Kelsey was more useful to me down the line.
Right. Mitch was robbed on Twitter wants to know, would you ever consider doing some covers of songs on your YouTube channel?
Maybe. I love singing, I love performing and stuff. We do sort of like some silly songs on ASAP Science. That we often like cover from, we have like a Taylor Swift one that we turn into like a science song. Yeah, we have like the Star Wars a cappella. So we do that. Before we did ASAP Science, I wanted to like focus and become more of a musician, but then ASAP Science took off. So maybe one day I'll do some more just like, basic straight up covers.
There you go. Dizzy. Oh, no, we're not asking that question. Jomo, Giselle, and a million other people want to know, Mitch, what was up with your little speech when you were putting the key in to give the brothers the win? Like, were you not happy with the brothers' win?
Like, okay, in retrospect now, the game is over, and I don't want to take it away from them because they won. And if you win the game, you win the game, and that's it, right? Like, it is like a board game. What I felt was that they did have, a lot more luck on their side than many people had in the game. And I felt like by week to week, I could have kind of broken down why they were a target, but then, even the twist coming in. Before that twist happened with Kelsey coming in, 6 of us, Maddie, Ramsey, me, Raul, Jared, and Nikki, all sat in a room, made an alliance, and said Cassandra and the brothers are going next week because they had kind of flopped on us to try and keep Dallas that week. But then Kelsey came in, and that switched the whole dynamic, and so they were kind of saved that week, even though Raul won HOH. Then Maddie, who wanted the brothers out, because there was the trio back in the house, won the next day HOH and went after the trio. So they had kind of escaped fate again. And I just felt like, not to take it away because luck is part of the game, but at the end of the day, I was just feeling like, luck ruined my game, and now it's giving you the crown, and I just had to say it. I was a little salty, but like they deserve it at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that. Mitch, who's your favorite player? Canada and Big Brother, Pat F, and again, a million other people want to know.
Fave player, I love like the power women who have played this game, and so Netta has always been one of my favorites because she was just like amazing strategically. Even for me, I was trying to emulate her game. Like I wanted to lay low for those first half of the game, but still be involved in, like, I really felt like each decision, like I had a pretty major push and voice in it, even if people didn't see me as having that major push and voice. And she did a really good job of that. And in the later game, just came strong and became strategic. I haven't seen the show, but it sounds like that's sort of what Cassandra did as well. Like people kind of underestimated her, and then she, after I was gone, like became this beast of somebody who was so good at manipulating people. So yeah, I'd say like those are 2 of my faves. But obviously there's like Derek as somebody who was like a mastermind on the American season. And I loved Vanessa too. I know people gave her a lot of flack, but I thought she was so good at convincing people to do what she needed them to do and had such a good sort of structure to how she would go about it that, yes, maybe she didn't own it in some ways, but she still did it. She still got it done. So
right. I will tell you, Vanessa is a big fan of you.
Oh, for real? Oh, that's so nice.
Oh, we might have been talking about your game a little bit this season. I've been like,
oh yeah. That's so nice. Yeah, I feel bummed that I feel like I had more potential to, like I feel like just as a player I was excited to do more. Got cut. That's okay, like I'm okay with it, but it would have been fun to play more of the game just to see even what I think I was capable of or what could have happened. We'll never know.
You know what else people are saying they don't know, and I don't know why I don't remember. Actually, I'm not surprised I don't remember it. Were you crying during the baseball competition?
Yes.
Why?
Okay, I don't know how these things have been edited on TV, but that was like a really dark day for a lot of us. And sometimes they would like show us clips from that baseball thing and be like, haha, you were having so much fun. But it's like 6 or 7 of us were crying after that challenge. So I maybe have to tread on like water with like what I'm talking about here because I don't know what's on the show and what's considered like production talk.
Sure, tread.
But ultimately, like...
Is it game related?
Not really. It was more like Tim threw a bat.
Oh, yeah. Right? That was on the show. So it was because Tim went drunk crazy was on the show, yes, and hit somebody in the face. Yeah, and I think the aftermath, though, could have killed someone. And I was like, this is really intense. And there was a lot of aftermath that I've asked people. It sounds like it wasn't all on the show, but there was a lot of like really heated moments between people like fighting, and a lot of crying happened after that. And so for me, I just had a moment where I was like... For me, like, the only times I ever cried in the house were when I was thinking about being on a show that, I don't know, it sounds bad. I chose to be on the show, but it exploits people in the way, in their behavior and their mental stability and things like that. And so in those moments, I was reflecting on, oh gosh, is this good TV that somebody just got hit with the bat and I'm on a show that's like celebrating this fact? Like, are there people behind these cameras who are like, yeah, like, oh my gosh, like someone almost like, this is crazy TV. I know there weren't. Like, I actually, like, in retrospect, sat on it, but in that moment in my head, I was just like, right, what show am I on right now? But it all came together. Everyone kind of apologized and it got fixed. It was just like and we were all drinking at the same time, so that probably also stimulated the emotional response. Exactly. I think you're in Big Brother Canada, and no, if it was Big Brother US, 100% they would have been cheering. But your Big Brother, no. I feel like they respect you all as players, respect the game. I'm still floored that they didn't break the brothers up. I was like, who cares if like they came right out in the beginning. Arissa was like, we are not breaking the brothers up. It is not happening. And we're all us American viewers are like, right. I know, they're gonna do that. They tell us that stuff too, and then they didn't.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. I do fully agree. Like, the team behind it all, as much as I'm not supposed to talk about it, they're all amazing people. They all took care of us and they did a good job.
You can say they're amazing people. I'm sure they are fine with hearing that they are amazing people. Jeanette Lopez wants to know, Jeanette, right? Not Jennifer Lopez. Like,
imagine.
Now you're going to get your singing career. Are you doing fan meetups at VidCon?
Yeah, we'll definitely have a meet and greet at VidCon. We have panels. We're performing on the main stage this year, so in the schedule there'll definitely be meet and greets that you can sign up for there. That will be there for hours to take pictures and say hi and stuff. So, and if you catch us walking around VidCon, feel free to stop us and ask for a photo.
Really? Okay. Yeah. There you go. Now you got to get your tickets to VidCon, everybody. What surprised you the most? Giselle BB17 wants to know. What surprised you the most about once you actually got into the house? Like, being a fan of the game, now you were in the house. What surprised you the most?
A couple things. So one is the amount of downtime. I think that there's moments where it's like you're so high, it's crazy. You're doing these competitions, you're nominating people, you're strategizing, but then there are days in a row sometimes where you're just staring at walls and you're just trying to find ways to entertain yourself, but being strategic, you don't want to necessarily overplay yourself with other people. And so there were some moments before you get used to it. Week 1 and 2, you're still like on adrenaline from what's going on. Week 3, you're like, oh my God, I'm so bored in some moments. And then, week 5, you're like, oh, this is just reality now. I'll stare at a wall for 3 hours and that's totally okay.
Right.
And then apart from that, I think how emotional I did feel. Like, I didn't have a lot of emotional breakdowns or anything, but I felt always like close to the threshold, as if somebody said the wrong thing to me. I could cry much more easily than ever in my real life.
Oh, I could imagine.
And not even because I was like upset or sad or stressed. It's just like such a strange environment. I remember thinking like, I've never been in this mental headspace before.
Right, because it forces you to be by yourself. We're cut off from everything that interacts us with the connects us with the outside world. I think, exactly. And I'm stuck with these people. We had a blackout one time from a hurricane for 4 days. I didn't know what was happening. I would literally just pick up my phone and go, oh, there's no signal.
What do I do?
What do I do? Where am I going? These kids these days, they're in trouble. Yeah. Marsha the Moose or Giselle the Giraffe. You have to pick one.
Marcia the Moose. I'm so Canadian version. I love the Canadian show because of the fun elements it has, the little tasks, and are you marking it down? What's the tally?
The tally is only Cassandra is winning this game. Cassandra is the only one who correctly picked Giselle.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, you know what? Maybe this is a good point. Speaking of Giselle and games, maybe this is a good time. We were trying to think of something fun that we could do while you were here with us, Mitch. Maybe a little word association.
Okay.
So Giselle and I were just brainstorming this before. Now, we're going to give you something, and I'm horrible at science, from the periodic table of elements.
Okay.
Okay. And it's like word association. You have to, and chat room, you can play along too. You have to tell us the first person that comes to mind, and I'll let you know if you got it correct or not. There is only 6 questions.
Okay, and person from the game.
Person from your season.
Okay.
So your first one is potassium.
Oh, Nikki. She loves bananas.
Ding, ding, ding. You got that correct.
So there are real answers. Okay.
Oh, there are real answers. Did you not think that? Okay, next is bromium?
Borium.
We want to call it bromium.
Bromium. Okay. Well, there is bromine.
Okay, let's pretend it's bromine.
Okay, well, I guess it's like Nick and Phil.
Okay. Trust me, they're going to get harder in a minute. I might have picked the wrong one. Okay. This is a good one. Okay, ready? I know how to pronounce this one. Copper.
Copper. Oh, I don't know. Who could copper be? Okay, I'm just... Yeah, like, I don't even know what that...
I'm gonna go with, you might want to go with its big scientific-y word and color. What's the color of copper?
The color of copper, isn't it copper? Like brown?
Or orangey?
Oh, wait, is that supposed to be like either Tim or Cassandra?
Yes, we will accept Tim for copper, which is mildly orangey.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, you've got to get this one, Mitch.
Okay.
You got to get this one.
Silicone.
Silicone? Or is it silicone? We're going with silicone.
Okay, silicone is like a polymer of silicone, so that's okay. Well, like silicone breast implants, who had them? Nikki had them, but I don't know who else who had big boobs. Levita had big boobs.
The answer we were looking for was Kelsey.
But does she have... Is that accurate? Or is that just...
but Kelsey is the butt of all of our jokes like that this season. Okay. Speaking of, and here's a hint, butts of jokes, second to last one, sulfur.
Sulfur. So, like, who was the smelliest? Is that what we're going for this? Okay. Well, people often made jokes about poor Jolie, that whenever he used the washroom, it would be smelly. But is that where you're going with this? Or, like, who was the smelliest?
We were going with smelliest, and I will accept your answer it was a close guess, but we were going for fart jar and Dallas.
You know what? I'd say Raul farted the most in that house, actually.
But did he put them in jars?
Oh, true. Nah, that never happened. That's disgusting.
Okay, now, I believe your last one is arsenic?
See, now there's other players for me that would represent. I'm trying to think.
And that's why I chose this one.
Yeah, like this is throwing shade now.
Ding ding.
Okay, is this like who I think or who I think you picked?
No, it's you. It is who I would have killed. But sure, who do you think I would have killed then? That's easy. Let's take the pressure off you. Who do you think I would have killed?
I'm trying to I need to cast photo right now. I also you have a really bad memory where I'm just I don't remember what happened at all in the game. But my instinct, if you hadn't already picked Kelsey, would have been Kelsey. but I feel like that's not your answer.
It's real close.
Is it Jared?
It is Jared. Really? It is my hair isn't worth $100,000. You're correct. It's $12.99 at the costume store. Jared.
Yeah, I was shocked to find out like that is why he left. And you know what? I have only watched the first episode of the season, and in the first episode of the season, he says, Kelsey's like, "Oh, I love your hair. It's so cute and curly." And he's like, "Yeah, sometimes I just want to shave it all off." That happens in episode 1. Like, they should have replayed that, yes. And then he lost the game because he would not shave it.
Jared, girl, this is my problem. No, I have to say, I have come full circle on Kelsey once Jared left the game.
Okay.
You will see when you watch it back, Kelsey got way more strategic. She was having conversations I never would have imagined she would have been having. And she really impressed me once Jared got out of that game. And I don't really fault her. I think she's the perfect player who maybe doesn't really know the game. And I think she's a good person. And for some people, like, love is more important than the game and money. And that's great.
For sure, yeah. It's frustrating when you're a player in there and you're like, but it's not more important than the game. But no, honestly, they're all good people, good-hearted people, even if they weren't like great players or necessarily like good in the game. After being outside of the world with them, you realize like they're all kind-hearted people.
Right. I think everybody in your season was very. I think your season was kind of some of the most kind-hearted people that I've seen in a lot of Big Brother Canada. You all genuinely seem to care about each other and care for each other. Yes, like there were times in the game where you all could have been fighting, but you all came together, let's say for Ramsey, or you all kind of came together when it mattered. Whereas I don't think that would happen on a BBUS season.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, definitely everyone in there felt really close to each other. And after the game, like, there hasn't been, as far as I'm aware, much drama amongst people. Like, I think everyone's moving on past it. And I'm sure there's some drama that I don't know about. But
well, I'm sure there is, too. And speaking of, I should probably say, and maybe this will help out my answer a minute ago, tomorrow we have Ramsey on at 7 p.m. Eastern, and on Thursday, Kelsey will be here at 7 p.m. Eastern. So Kelsey fan and Ramsey fans tomorrow and the next day, they will be here at 7 p.m. Okay, oh my goodness, I guess your younger fans want to know, and they just want to keep asking, so let's get this out of the way. Britney or Gaga, so they'll stop flooding the chat room with it.
Well, I used to be so loved Gaga. I've always loved Britney, let's be real. But like then Gaga became my queen at some point, but then she kind of tapered off for me after a couple of her albums.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, but like I think if I had to choose Gaga, because she's so super talented in real life, and seeing her in her concert, like she's got vocal cords like not a lot of people in the pop industry. So Gaga.
I agree. I agree. I completely agree for that reason, because she can sing, whereas Britney is like, I'm at the concert and I just hit play on the CD.
Exactly.
I'm like, is this what's happening here? Sunny Sky wants to know. Sunny Sky, I'm just going to make this your question for everybody. It is random sometimes when I actually see the chat question as opposed to it being pulled, and I swear it always lands on this question from Sunny Sky every show. Who would you have wanted to take to the final two with you if you could have taken someone with you all the way to the end?
I think honestly Raul, for two reasons. One, I think I was always being honest when I liked the storyline of two gay friends coming together, making it far in the game, and it was not like, it was a platonic relationship, and it could have featured just two different kinds of gay guys, and I like the idea of us working together going far, and I also do think I could have beat him at the end. So for both those reasons, I just would have liked to see both of us make it there, but obviously that didn't happen.
Right. Because, I mean, that was genuine. I know there were some people that were, like, critiquing you and saying that you were using being, like, gay as a storyline or as something to manipulate Raul with. That's not true at all. You would have gone to the end with Raul the whole game.
Yeah, I honestly would have. And obviously, like, after what had happened, that would have changed. If I had made it past that week, that would have changed going forward.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly how, but yeah, pre that, like Raul, especially once Kelsey left, he was probably the person I felt closest to, felt I could relate the most to, and just felt like, you know what? I feel proud that there's two gay guys who can be friends on this show, work together. And, you know, it's just not like, I didn't want it to be manipulative in any sort of way for him and even or for TV, but was just aware that like it was something that I haven't seen a lot. There's not a lot of storylines like that on shows like this. And so for me, that was important in the same way that when my boyfriend and I do videos on the internet about like being gay or about social justice, like those matter to us. And so if you can be on a reality show and try and do something that means something to you, then I think then you're kind of hitting both.
I think it was right. I mean, I think it was it was definitely rare until, I'll be shady, last season of Big Brother. It's rare that you get multiple gay people on one, you know, season. So I completely agree with that. All right. What is up? Serious question. Serious hard-hitting question. I swear if you keep asking it in the chat room. What is up with the kiss with Joel? Could you explain?
Yeah, I think that like me and my boyfriend was like, that wasn't on the show. It was just in like one montage or something. I think it was basically they had given us alcohol one time, and often when we got alcohol in the house, we would be cut off because like we could not control ourselves. Well, I won't say everyone, but there were certain people who would make it harder for everyone to have more. But we were all behaving, we were all having a lot of fun, and then everyone was like, we need more, like we need the most like responsible, nicest people to go into the DR and ask for more. And so
it was in Joel's mouth?
Yeah, we were showing what we were willing to do to get it, basically.
Got you. Well, that's cute. That was a cute little mashup. They loved it. I missed that too. I didn't see that either. Here's a great question from a ton of people. I see Leslie's the person who's asking it most recently. As a strategic player, as a fan of this game, what did you haven't gotten there yet, but I'm sure you might have heard Tim forfeited his final HOH and gave it to Kelsey. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so having not seen it, I don't know for sure, but I think that I don't want to speak ill of Tim in any way, but I think that there might have been a point. He really wanted to win, I think, but didn't want the shame of not winning. And I think perhaps in that moment he thought he was going to lose the challenge anyway, so he'd rather walk out saying, I don't want to win. Do you know what I mean? Because week after week, that was his strategy, to say he didn't want to win, but he wasn't willing to let Joel stay over him. He wasn't willing to let Cassandra stay over him. It wasn't until a challenge moment when maybe he thought he was going to lose and knew that Kelsey wouldn't take him to the end that he would have rather walked away and said, like, well, I don't want to win. Like, you can't take this away from me, you know?
I love you, Tim. I hope you come on the show, but that whole wait until you watch it, Mitch, I completely agree. His whole speech after he did it was like, well, I don't want to win anyway. I didn't even want to win. I just threw it because I didn't even want to win. And I was like,
He wanted to win, for sure, I think. And even in the jury, we'd make jokes about that. If Tim had ever walked in, he'd say, like, like, if he was ever on the block and knew he was going home, I think he would have played the same card. Like, oh, just vote me out. I don't want to win.
Right.
And I think that was the only real moment when he knew he couldn't, if he wasn't, I don't think he obviously was aware. It sounded like Kelsey still had taken so long. He had so much time, but in the stress of the moment, maybe he felt like he was taking too long and that he was going to lose.
Right. And I mean, it wasn't hard. Like, I could figure it out. It was just go backwards. It was like skip a week and put the people in order on the odd weeks or every other week. So you had to just know the order people were evicted, and that was it.
That's weird. I mean, I haven't seen it, but it doesn't. Yeah, when people describe it to me, I'm like,
you'll see.
I know he didn't study the days that well, so that could have been him thinking like, I haven't studied this at all. I'm never gonna get it.
Mm-hmm. I have a great theory that we've talked about on shows, then you should watch those back, everybody, at yourgallerycaps.com/BBCAN that I won't say when Mitch is on the show. Nick, Ryle K or Rylick K298 has a great question. If you could bring one prohibited item into the house, what would it have been?
Like my cell phone or my boyfriend? Like, I don't know.
Oh, yourself.
Actually, no, it was really nice not to have a cell phone, to be honest, but like if I could like go on the internet and stuff and like find out about all these people and watch the show, like, yeah, I guess I'd do that.
I think anybody would. I think that is, but see, I feel like, no, you know what? That's perfect. I'm going to accept that as your answer because, Mitch, you crashed the chat room. It came back up while you were answering that question. So, okay. Oh no, everybody. Again, you're going to have to go watch this back after the edited show is up to find out what Mitch would have brought back. And it's good. And it's a
really good answer.
It's a really good answer. BB Grasshopper wants to know, did you ever watch any of Nikki or Tim's previous seasons?
No, so I've never been, I love the American version and the Canadian version, just because for me it's the strategy element of the game that I really love. I do like the social aspect as well, but for me, I never thought I would be on a version like the other version, because I'm more of a quiet person. I'm not like crazy and eccentric in that way. And so, yeah, it had never really interested me other than, some clips here and there on YouTube, seeing some hilarious stuff that's happened on like the British version. I had never heard of Tim or Nikki.
Interesting. Jeff Yu wants to know, is there any song that came out while you were in the house that you are now obsessed with? I know you love music.
Yeah, I mean, like Lemonade, obviously. Just watched that the other night for the first time. And Ariana Grande's new song. Was that when we were like so into you? Like, did that come out? When did that come out?
I want to say, well, you were in the house.
Me too. At least, if not very recently, but I'm obsessed with that song right now. So that was fun to come out to.
What were your thoughts on? Oh my god, I keep forgetting this. I almost forgot this when I was talking to them too. One of my favorite moments of the season. What was your thoughts when you found out the brothers tried to nominate themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll never get to the bottom of if they actually would or not. I think they would have, and I'm sure now they're saying they never would have. I don't know, but insanity. It would have been hilarious if they let them do it and then they got voted out. I was also like, couldn't understand why they put up Tim and Nikki trusting Cassandra, and then Cassandra was able to take, like, that was, I mean, that's hopefully genius on Cassandra's part. I haven't seen the show yet, but for me, I was like, that's another reason I was like struggling to vote for them in the end. But I mean, I think they should have let them put themselves on the block. It would have been hilarious.
Well, again, I will say the brothers go into complete depth as to why they did it. That video is up, yourrealityrecaps.com/BBCAN. You can watch it there. And here's what's surprising. I know people are calling me crazy. I actually believe them.
Really?
Yeah, basically, I mean, they get way more into detail, but basically, oh god, and I always get their names wrong, so not Nick. So Nick said because I called them girl face and monkey face all season, and I never tried to learn their names. Nick said he did it to piss off Phil. Oh, Phil did the nomination. Okay. Phil did it to piss off Nick because Nick wasn't listening to him. And he says he just did it to like try and piss him off, but he had no intention of going through with it, is what he said in the interview.
To some degree, I believe that maybe they even were trying to make like a good TV moment. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. The depth of their strategy, I mean, I don't have a lot to say about it. It's hard for me to judge it just because I've never seen it actually happen. But if they say it, they say it. They're allowed to say whatever they want at this point.
You are another one, and you have the ability to do this. You should, because I'm sure you have nothing else to do. I love when people are like, Eric, you should do a video about blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh yeah, I got nothing else to do. You should do a video of you watching back, or even like a series of you watching back the shows and giving your commentary. I know fans would die to see that.
Really? I mean, yeah, it would be interesting to do. It's so hard in there, and that's what I mean with the brothers. I know they were always so emotional, and I know they might say it was an act now, but like it wasn't. There were times when like if they were confronted, they would explode. So that's why that was very believable to me when everyone told me they wanted to put themselves on the block. I think they might have just felt cornered and exploded, even if they maybe ultimately would have never actually done it. I think in the moment, maybe they were being real and just exploding because they felt like so much was happening that like just lost control of.
Interesting. New Jersey girl, another huge fan of you, Mitch, wants to know, did you get to meet Jace after the show? And is there a scientific explanation to what has happened to his face?
Oh, I never actually got to meet him. He was at the wrap party, I believe, but I didn't see him there. And he was definitely at the finale show. I never got to meet him, unfortunately. And
have you seen a picture?
No, I have seen him. I mean, people change. That's all I'll say. We have a video on aging.
There you go. He apparently lives in the forest now, so he claims. He does not like to be around people. I don't know. Maybe they sent Tim to go look for him and get him, but I don't know. Apparently the forest has lots and lots of Botox. Is there something that... I don't know. Mitch, a ton of people also want to know, if you had to play Big Brother in the way the brothers had to play it, so you are tied to somebody else, you don't split up, you're a pair for the whole season, who would you pick to do that with? You can pick anybody you want.
Like, in my life, like, probably my boyfriend, to be honest, because we're on such a similar wavelength. You know what I mean? Like, as brothers, they were pretty different, similar in many ways, but also different. Whereas I think my boyfriend and I are similar in different ways, but like, I think we mentally share the same sort of ideas and path. And, cause that is the biggest challenge for being the brothers, is how you keep your story straight. And so that was a big obstacle that they handled well. And as much as it was frustrating to see Phil stifle Nick, it probably was in some ways for the best, because it allowed them to kind of keep their stories straight. Right.
If you had to pick another BB player, who would you pick?
Okay. Like from our season?
I'll let you go any season. Any season, Canada or United States.
Oh, wow. I feel like I'd want it to be somebody different in me in that sense. Like maybe like Janelle, because she was so good at challenges and is a woman, so would be able to like just is so different than me, might be able, because that also was their advantage, is that if they're different, they can form bonds with different people on different sides of the house. And so I don't know why Janelle just came to mind. She was one of my favorite players because she's just hilarious and sassy and also so good at challenges. So that could be fun.
Okay, I want to do this then. I'm going to tell you people, if it's not, I don't want to put you in the spot, but I want to like name some people for you. You tell us if you would want to be tied to them in the game of Big Brother. Because there are people I see the chat room saying they want you to be tied to, and some I'm interested to. Amanda Zuckerman.
To be fully honest, and I feel bad about this, that is the only season of the American version I did not continue watching because of the issues of that season.
Step away from the bridge, girl. Amanda, it's okay. We're going to give it to him.
But she seems like hilarious and outgoing. Yeah, like I feel like she's awesome, but I'm sorry.
Okay, Brittany Haynes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she would be hilarious. In terms of strategy, I'm not sure if we would like be additive in that same way, but as a person, I love her.
Dan Giesling.
Obviously. I think the challenge with being paired with somebody like super strategic is that it would be like one or the other. Like he would probably either take over or I'd want to take over, and then we would just butt heads. So yeah, and that way it's probably like we're probably better not suited together. What you got going down there?
You're on strike too. Just letting you know, 3 of the shows so far. Dan Giesling's the devil. Number 3. Oh wait, who else was I looking at? No, that's a horrible choice. There were some good ones. Darn it. Frank Udy. Oh yeah.
I think because he was a really big physical challenger, and I think I don't really have that aspect. So he was somebody who seemed easy enough to get along with, but could win challenges that I could not.
Danielle Reyes.
Yeah, love her. Honestly, like I love like all the
female
female badasses that, like, there's so many great females from Big Brother that sometimes don't even get enough cred because it's like
Victoria?
we live in a... I mean, in some ways, it's like if you work with Victoria, then you might be able to control things more succinctly. In the same way that Phil controlled Nick, it's like, hey, if Victoria's with you, then it's easier. I mean, she's not going to add much to challenges, but at least she's not going to like bring you down with baggage of other strategy that's not matching up with yours.
Okay, and then last two, Andy Herron.
Yeah, I mean, he even messaged me during my Facebook chat when I got out of the house, and on Twitter, he's tweeted me a bunch. I think we played a pretty similar game in a lot of ways. I think, obviously, once my game got exposed, I changed my style, but I think we see the game in a similar way and influence people in a way that isn't as out front, where people can always understand what you're doing.
And lastly, Rachel Riley.
Love Rachel Riley. And then she's another challenge beast. She's hilarious. She's amazing TV. So.
Oh, and breaking news while you were in the house, Mitch. Did you hear that she had her daughter?
She had it.
Oh, I'm so glad you don't know yet.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes, she had it. Mitch, any guesses on the name?
Oh, no, I don't know. I have no guesses. It's something absurd.
I love you, Rachel. Adora Borealis.
Okay.
I will say this, and that's the middle name, and then obviously Vielis. So Adora Borealis Vielis. I do love Adora, the name. Like, it makes me think Bewitched, but you know Rachel's going all over the Twitter being like, Adora Borealis. And she said it's because she adores her, and because that's her favorite starry, lighty show. Like constellation thing that happens in the sky. I don't know, but you're making me nervous.
Oh, the Aurora Borealis. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
like,
there you go.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. You know what? And that's so Rachel to do what she's going to do.
Exactly.
And I love that.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful baby. And you know there's going to be a kids edition of Big Brother. Like one day. We have all these people having kids.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're all going to be on together for sure.
Was it hard being a super fan, always having to hide your fan status in a house of, let's call them, not so much super fans?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't fully hiding it. Like, for me, part of my strategy and tactic was, in a lot of ways, to be honest, because the more honest you can be, just like the more people catch you in lies or deception, like that just causes problems for your game. So I was pretty upfront about having watched some of the seasons. I pretended like I had seen a lot less. I never admitted that I would like have listened to this podcast before or like a lot of the other podcasts. But knew I couldn't fully hide that fact in the same way that I couldn't hide that I had a passion for science, for example. I just knew it would come out, or people would see me as being deceptive if I was like trying. Like, it's difficult to lie when you care about something, and so it was difficult on the levels that I did have to be deceptive. But for the most part, I didn't lie too much about it.
What was it like when you had to come up with your chocolate math, statistics, and all of that? I think we all loved watching that. Have you seen that episode yet? I
haven't seen it. No. It was really fun. I loved that part. I just sat in because I was like, hey, what can I do? All these people know that I love science and math. And so how can I, now that, if I'm going to be pitted against as being smart, I might as well use this storyline that I'm smart to use that against them. So I just sat there for a couple hours in bed one day and I was like, okay, I have to have like a good story and just like be able to answer any questions in case they start asking questions or in case anyone actually, like Tim, for example, I was like, he could come out of nowhere and like understand that I'm lying. And as soon as I started explaining it, he was like, oh, my mom's a math teacher. I love this. And I was like, is he playing with me? Does he know this is fake and he's about to expose me? But yeah, it was just funny to me to be able to like use something that they projected onto me as being like smart and loving math and science and then kind of throwing it back at them and hopefully affecting my chances.
So many people want to know, now that you've watched a few of the episodes back, is there anybody's personality who has surprised you now, maybe getting to see their DRs or seeing what they were saying when you weren't around?
Well, truthfully, I have only watched that first episode, but I will say like outside of the house, in the house, I always had a hard time connecting with Dallas. I don't know why. I think it was also like he's on the opposite side of the house and we just never really chatted. But outside, during our Niagara weekend in the wrap, like he was somebody that I was like, you know what, maybe I didn't give him a fair chance when I was there. because you start to see people as more whole people on the outside world, and you're not trying to like use their flaws against them. But for some reason in the house, we could never really chat or connect. But outside, I felt it was a lot easier. But yeah, I am very excited to see like who threw shade at me in the DR.
No, I really can't think of anybody that did. But let me ask you this. What's your relationship like with Dallas now? Carib 1985 wants to know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like I was happy to have the opportunity to like kind of meet him again outside the house.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really chatted to him apart from that weekend we had as like the Big Brother crew in Niagara. But I've also I'm so bad at like keeping up with people. So I'm like, okay, I have to make a concerted effort to like get everyone's numbers and message them now. And we all definitely went through something amazing and cool together. And regardless of like our personal feelings to each other, we'll always be connected through that. So hopefully I'll get to chat with him and all the others who maybe I didn't get the chance to be close to in the house.
A lot of people are hoping that you will stay close with Raul because they want you to set Raul up with a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would love to help him. We talked about that a lot in jury because he wants to do YouTube, but he's just like not totally sure what he wants to do. And we are really close. We haven't chatted too much since out of the house, but it's only been a week, and I think everyone's just like readapting to going back to normal life. But yeah, as much as like it was hilarious and awful what happened in our last week, it didn't affect my relationship with him at all. So hopefully we'll be hanging out sooner than later.
He is probably still stuck at the Beyonce concert.
I'm going that tomorrow in Toronto.
Are you?
I am.
Okay, well, I miss Toronto. Anyway.
Yeah, come to Toronto.
I told you what happened. Don't spread the word, everybody. That's totally the wrong button. I want to let you all know that we're starting to wrap up now. I'd say we have like 10 minutes left, reminding you guys that number one fan on this show is winning a Mitch autograph. Now, this is not what you are winning autographed from Mitch, but I should say, Mitch, you also have a book.
Indeed.
ASAP Science. What is the book about, Mitch? I'm going to let you explain that.
Sure. The book is essentially like an extension of our YouTube channel. So our YouTube channel just answers kind of like quirky, funny science questions that can relate to your life. And so the book does the same thing with just another set of questions. Some of them are based on episodes we've done online, but the majority of them were just new questions that we hadn't done in a video before. And so it's all split up into short little chapters, you know, of different questions you probably asked yourself before that you can just flip through, put it, you know, on a coffee table or in the bathroom for a quick read whenever you've got some time. It's just a fun little quirky book.
I might need this book. I went to Catholic school. It's what I blame me not knowing anything on. I was always taught God did it, and I'm not kidding. I didn't have science. I had God did it. That's what I learned.
Go get the book right now. I'll send you a copy. Okay, I'll sign it and send you a copy.
You need to, yes. Very important and serious question that I'm actually going to ask you a question. Okay. What is the state above California called? Okay, I don't mean to put you on the I'm just going to say,
You're like, I don't know my American geography. Can I like open it and look at it?
Yes. Do it, because I don't want to ruin the point of why I'm asking you.
Is it like the pronunciation of it? Okay, let me just look at. I probably should know this.
It starts with an O. R-E.
Oh, Oregon?
Thank you. That's all I needed. That is all I
How do other people say, like Oregon or Oregon?
It's Oregon. You're correct. That's all that matters.
Okay, good.
That is all that matters is jerk. I feel like I have this.
That was almost my third strike.
That was. Here's a great question. What were your sentiments of the brothers and Jared consistently saying they only wanted Canadians as the final two, but you kind of said you would have picked him as the final two, too.
Yeah, for me as a fan of the game, I didn't care. If someone played a good game, I wanted them to win and to represent the season. And, you know, the brothers were a wild card as well. They were a twist. I mean, I think I understand it on the level that some people were using it as a strategy to say, like, hey, if I'm sitting in the final three, I want you to really believe that we don't want international there. Or if I'm in the final two with an international, I hope I've convinced everyone not to vote for an international. But for me in the jury, it really came down to who had the best game. And if Tim or Nikki was there and I thought they had the best flawless game, I would have been happy to vote for them, for sure. And I think most of us on the jury kind of felt that way as well. Was like, you know what, this was the twist of the season. And if they played a better game, then we're okay to give it to them.
I think the coolest thing for me this season is I always tell people, like, you have to play the house, you have to play production, you have to play America. And then I always tell people, like, it's a game. Like, you don't play Monopoly with your heart. Like, you don't start Monopoly and be like, oh, Mom, you're old. Here's all my money. You're going to die soon. You need it. I'm out. Good game. And I swear to God that next week you were in jury like, this is not a board game. And I was like, thank you. Pathetic. Can you all stop yelling at me?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I get it in some ways. It's like sometimes after Monopoly, like it ends with like the table being flipped, but then like 15 minutes later, everyone's over it. And it's like that happens with this game too. Everyone kind of has their decompression time of like being angry or upset. But if you can just acknowledge that it's a board game and board games involve luck and board games involve a lot of things that you can't always win, just get over it and you had a fun time. That's what it's about.
Right. Lovely BBH and about a ton of other people, I apologize, guys, want to know, did anybody or who had the craziest reaction to finding out that you're actually a social media mogul or your YouTube channel and everything?
I mean, I think, and it was probably on the feeds, was Raul finding out, because I think it mattered the most to him because he's interested in YouTube, and a lot of the people that we've met because of YouTube, he like idolizes or is interested in meeting as well. So in jury, it is like, we talked about it all the time. Like, he was so curious about it, and his reaction like was extended for like a month. You know what I mean? Whereas other people thought it was really cool. And in jury, they let us like have the book, so people got to read it and stuff, which was really nice. And everyone thought it was super cool. Nikki read the whole book, and she was like loving it and learning so much. But I think Raul was the most keen about it because he wants to be on YouTube, I think.
I saw somebody say, like, have you seen the memes of Raul? Like, where it's like, Raul's word of the day, chicken wing. And then it's like, I hope Kelsey makes it to the final two, because chicken wing.
No, I've never seen it.
There was like, there's a ton of them. There was one about like YouTube, but they were like, it was something about like Raul thinking it was lube. Like you were gonna help it. It was funny. But Raul. Raul is like the heart, I feel, of your season. He definitely was the heart, because
yeah, he was amazing. He's honestly hilarious, amazing. I don't know how he came out from the show, but in person, he's like so much energy and just hilarious.
He is. He's amazing. I love Raul. All right, I'm going to say last question is, I want to take this one because it comes from so many kids. Or actually, you know what? I'll do this. Did you binge watch any television in your normal life, or even now that you've gotten out? Jackie wants to know.
I did. I came back after the Niagara weekend and had a day to catch up on Survivor before the finale. So I did it. I just stayed up all night, went to work, and then came back to finish it. Finished it just before the finale started and had a bunch of friends come over to watch the finale. So yeah, that's the only thing I've really had a chance to binge watch so far. And now I'm debating if I watch our season next. I can't decide. I want to watch the season, but I also I'm like, will it affect my perception of what happened? Will it define my experience if I watch our season from only this one perspective? But at the same time, I'll get to see a lot of stuff I didn't know was going on in the house. So I'm conflicted.
Well, let me sum it up for you this way. You know how when you watched the finale of Survivor and you wanted to jump off a bridge because Michelle won? And,
yeah.
And you wanted, I just wanted to choke myself with whatever. That is the first time in my life I always say, whoever wins deserve to win. I hate when people are like, I deserve to win. Or I hate when people say that whoever wins, wins. Mm-hmm. That was the first time it challenged that in my own head. I was no. Where did this come from in one episode?
Yeah, it was weird, especially because I watched them all in a row. I just didn't even know who Michelle was by the finale.
Yeah, nobody did. Don't worry. You and the rest of America.
Yeah.
And bitter-ass Cherry with your big ogre baseball.
I know.
Man.
I mean, I loved Aubrey so much. I wanted her to win.
Well, that's how we felt when you were evicted. And I believe the tweets were like, first Mitch, now Aubrey, and Cassandra.
So
it was horrible. But I think you should watch it back. I think you will. I think you should watch it back. I think you'll love it. And what I always tell people, watch it backwards. If you feel like it's more for the emotional people. Raul cried when I told him this, and I felt bad. But if you watch it backwards, you get your worst moment over with first, and you kind of end up on like the happy time when how it all started and you were all coming in the house.
Right.
So
I feel like, I'm not that emotional about it, I think.
Yeah,
I like want to see my worst moments. When I was on the block, I was like loving it. Even though I obviously wanted to stay, I thought it was a fun time. It was like, that's when you get to play the game. So I want to skip to that week and be like, how did that look on TV?
Oh yeah, I would totally go. Me too. I would go to that week first. Jedi Monster, Mitchell's Moffit want you to know you were trending a lot this summer onto Mitch Muffin and Mitch was robbed.
Oh really? Oh,
nobody
so
sent
nice.
that to you?
I think one of my friends mentioned that it was like trending, but I just didn't really believe it. But that's really cute, amazing, awesome. I feel lucky that I came out and I've had like mostly positive reception, so I'm happy about that. As much as it sucked that I like left so early.
I don't even know who's giving you a negative reception. I don't. You didn't even do anything. Forget it. I know the fandom that would have a problem. I get it. By the way, oh no, I'm not. Well, okay, silicone. Anyway, all right, we need to wrap this up, Mitch. Let's start by you telling the people and everything that Mitch is going to mention now. The links will be below if you're having trouble finding it. But Mitch, where can people find you on social media or wherever you want them to go?
Sure. So like it says here, at Mitchell Moffit is my Instagram handle, my Twitter handle. You can find me anything with that. Snapchat, it's Pixel Mitch, PIXELMITCH. And obviously, even if you don't think you like science, you should be checking out ASAP Science and ASAP Thought, our second channel, because YouTube is amazing and you'll learn some stuff and hopefully laugh and have a good time while doing it. So yeah, check those out. Feel free to tweet me, send me Instagrams. I don't know. The internet's great. Just do whatever you want.
Literally thought you were going to say send me dick pics and Snapchat.
No, yeah, like I used to have my Snapchat open, but I have decided to close that for a multitude of reasons.
Do you understand Snapchat? I feel like there's two camps of people that understand it and don't. I don't.
I do, but mostly because Greg's so good at using it that he has...
That's not fair. You can't get an assist. If you had to do it on your own.
Well, I'll help you. Do you have it?
Look, I have it. It doesn't help. Ramsey apparently sent me some message. People are going to swipe 3 times. The message is there. I didn't know when you close it, it's gone. Look, I got enough. We're on every other social media network,
okay,
people.
Fair enough.
I don't need it. Just find me on Grind. No, I'm kidding. Don't bother looking. I'm fans, not you. You're semi-married. Okay, so we love you. Oh, wait a minute. Oh my God, I forgot. And she will literally kill me. Oh my God, everybody hold on. All right, now Mitch, I have a special surprise for you.
Okay.
As long as you don't talk, you're not going to get feedback for a second. Okay. We have I gotta select that. We got a special surprise for you, Mitch. We have a special caller. Fingers crossed this is going to work. A special caller who has a message for you. Here, bump, bada bump, bump, bump. Hopefully this is you can tell me if you can't hear it. We tested it before. Hopefully you'll be able to. Here we go.
Mitch, baby, I've just been dreaming about you every single day since I left that house. And I miss you so much. And I can't wait till we reunite so I could kiss that cute face. And right now, I'm going to hang up off this call and I'm going to go creep like a stage 5 clinger all of your cool YouTube shit and go buy your book. Because I love you that much. And you and me for All Stars, let's work together. Thanks. Bye. Love ya.
We had her on yesterday, and when she found out that you were on, she was like, I have to leave him a message on the show. I want a message. I'm Cassandra, and I demand it.
Yeah, I get what I want.
I got what I want. I'm Cassandra. So
that's so nice. You know what? I'm so pumped because I've heard so many amazing things about Cassandra, and like, I obviously like in the house wasn't fully aware of her game, but now I'm so pumped to see like the part of the game I wasn't there for. Every time someone came to jury, it was just like, Cassandra is such a master manipulator. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy and I'm so pumped to see that. Because I think everyone underestimated her like from day one, and to know that she became this like goddess, I'm just like, that's so exciting.
Yeah, another reason you need to watch the show back. I will say, send your hate tweets somewhere else, everybody. I don't care. I think fans of the game and people that love strategy, we loved you. We loved Cassandra. And we loved Joel too, but I think Joel got an edit that was a little less of how strategic he was edit. But I think fans of the game, fans of the show loved you guys. So, everyone says Mitch and Cass all the way for All Stars.
Oh, wow. That's really cute. That's so nice. Well, I'll have to send her a message after this.
Send her a message, tell her you love it. And I need to let you know your number one fan is Jada, and it is
Mitchell's Moffit.
There you go. Now change your Twitter. It's creepy. No, we love all of you guys. We will see you back here, or we won't. I mean, you can come if you want. I will see you guys back here tomorrow night with Ramsey, and on the next day with Kelsey. You guys can watch this back later tonight. The edited version will be up. Unless there's
I'm just going to say one last thing.
Yes,
Eric.
I was going to say.
I've been a fan of you for so long. I'm so happy to be on this show. I also love all the other podcasts, people do Big Brother, but like you guys, you're like a bunch of gay guys and girls, and like just love that it's like a voice that I resonated with. You're hilarious. It's been so fun to be on this show finally after like listening to it for years. So thank you so much for having me on.
Okay, I'll give you your money when we end this. But, Mitch, seriously, come back anytime. That means a lot coming from you, and I'm not hanging up on you. We're just hanging up on the chat room.
Okay. We'll chill out.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I'll see you guys here tomorrow night. You can see this later. Follow Mitch. All of his social media stuff will be below this video on the edited version. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.